Thank you, everybody, for watching this clip here of YRLA. We are your host here. I'm Chris Rod. We have Annalise Garcia. Hi, Annalise.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's going on? Did you hear earlier about Killer Mike? Of course, the rapper, progressive activist, entrepreneur, rapper known as Killer Mike. He announced the opening of a major Black and Latin American owned and operated bank called Greenwood. So let me kind of let the audience know about it, and we'll discuss it. It's on their mission statement. They describe that the platform is aiming to supplement the current financial system, which has failed Black and Latinx communities, saying that at this point, Greenwood has secured $3 million in seed funding from private investors as the first digital banking platform for Black and Latinx people and business owners. Greenwood features best-in-class online banking services and innovative ways to give back to Black and Latinx causes and businesses. Greenwood founders right now are including civil rights legends like Andrew J. Young, Michael Render, Killer Mike there, Ryan Glover. And they're saying that the way it is today right now for banks, that there's extreme inequity when it comes to hosting non-whites, essentially, right? Today, according to a quote from Killer Mike, he said, "Today, a dollar circulates for 20 days in the white community, but only 6 hours in the Black community." So, moreover, a Black person is twice as likely as a white person to be denied a mortgage. This lack of fairness in the financial system is why they created Greenwood. You have signed up for it, right? So tell me about that and what you've heard about it so far.
Yeah, well, look, what I can tell you is that as soon as I heard about it, I went straight to the website because I had to see, right? Mm-hmm. And so right now they have a mailing list. They've got over 30,000 people that have signed up for this waiting list. The reason that I know that is because my number was 30,000 and some change. My waiting list number, right? Yeah. So I think this is fantastic because when I went to their website and I looked at it, what I noticed right away was it's your typical, online banking, no branch model, which does save them money, which means that they're able to give you a higher interest rate on your savings account, so that you can accumulate more interest on that. They're able to waive a lot of fees because they don't have a lot of the costs that come with running a mortar and brick branch, right? So they're obviously going digital, and I think that's fine because that's where banking is headed anyway and has been headed for a while. So I myself use a credit union, but upon hearing about this, of course I had to sign up because look, I think the biggest benefit that can be taken from this, there's two. One is that you're supporting communities that have been historically under-supported and that need that support, right? And the other thing is that we see with loans specifically, it is a lot more difficult for someone who's African American or Latin who's trying to start that business or trying to get that loan to be approved. And there is just inherent racism built into our banking system. So look, if I have the opportunity to go and bank somewhere that is actively working to fix inequality, not only that, they donate meals. 5 meals per every account that's opened. That's great. And I think it's a certain percentage of the purchases that you make, and I'll have to go and look in further detail, maybe do a little clip about this, but a certain percentage of the purchases that you make, they round up to the next dollar, and all those donations go to nonprofits that need it, right, to help support people. So and we've heard kind of about banks like this before, like we know TYT works with Aspiration, and stuff like that. So I think this is fantastic, and I think that anyone who is in any way interested should go and sign up because putting your money where your mouth is how you actually support these communities. Right. It's how you actually help them build wealth.
Right. So, and let me also start off right now by saying that this is in no way an advertisement for them.
Oh, not at all. They haven't paid us. We have no connection with them.
We've never heard from them. Yeah. But seeing this, I thought is something that's great for the community here in Los Angeles to recognize, being that we have such a large population of Hispanics and African Americans, And I like the fact that he called it Greenwood. Did you see why he named it Greenwood?
No, I didn't. Why did he call it that?
So Greenwood was a community known as Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that on May 31st, 1921, there was a white mob that did a complete massacre. I mean, they bombed them. They had airplanes that bombed the area. So it was a very well recirculated Black community that had all Black-owned businesses. It started off with oil in the area. It was placed into a area that was for indigenous people, and they were able to rise their community by themselves. So thinking about that in 1921, that the fact that the same type of racial inequities that happen today, for instance, even there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Terrence Crusher, and yes, we should all remember Terrence Crusher, who was shot to death by a cowardly cop there in Tulsa, echoing a lot of the racism that has happened in the area forever, basically. Look, she got off. She was acquitted. This is a totally different story. But the thing is that, like, their family is a big part of this community and reinvigorating what Greenwood meant. And so what I think is important about this is that Greenwood at one time meant wealth and prosperity for Black Americans, and was completely crushed and eliminated by white right-wing mobs in the same way that they're doing today. So I think this is a perfect time. I mean, in fact, let me even tell you, in some of the research that I did, the white mob specifically placed Black people who were murdered by them into unmarked graves, so that way they can get rid of the history of who they were. I mean, we're talking about doctors that were helping out people that put in some of the first air-conditioned movie theaters and so on and so forth. So anyways, yeah, so I think it's super important because at that time, there was an individual in the Greenwood district by the name of O.W. Gurley. And what he did back then was he would actually, and this is a quote too from Christy Williams, the vice chair of African American Affairs Commission in Tulsa. She said O.W. Gurley would actually loan money to people who wanted to start a business. They actually had a system where someone who wanted to own a business could get help in doing that. And this was at a time when people in affluent white communities would not hire Black people. The inequities are there. All the Jim Crow laws were in place. So they were saying Greenwood District thrived as the epicenter of African American business and culture, particularly on the Greenwood Avenue, commonly known as Black Wall Street. So that's where it comes from. I know that was a long-winded reply, but I just want to say this is something that I never heard that, in any of my history classes throughout grade school and college. And I've never heard it talked about, on TV. And I'm glad that by him naming it this is to say, yeah, you might have defeated, you racist white right-wing mobs might have defeated us then. But when we talk about Black Lives Matter and standing up, this is another portion of it. And once again, not just Black lives, it's the fact that white supremacy has taken over so much in this country that it has hurt all people of color, including the Latinx community. So I thought that was really cool to see that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, it's about taking our power back. And money is a huge part of that. Where we invest our money matters. So again, we have no affiliation with them. They're not paying us. They don't even know that we're doing this video. We're just excited about this because we feel that it's a resource. So if you guys are interested, go to bankgreenwood.com. There are a lot of websites with similar names, so just make sure you go to the right one. It's bankgreenwood.com. And if you are interested, you can put in your email and they'll sign you up for a waiting list, and then you'll get more information soon. So yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please tap the like, hit the bell, subscribe to us, and support us on Patreon if you want to join the cause to help us get corrupt bribes out of our nation's news media. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, this is your revolution.